Hi! There's a special corner in video game history where the camera tilts just slightly above, the perspective locks in place. These games didn't chase cinematic glory, they wrote their own rules. They were more than just combat or quests. It was an era where every mouse click could mean death, and every city on the map felt real. Today, we're going back to worlds built on an angle, yet leaving a straight line mark on the heart of every player who entered. Arcanum. When Arcanum launched, it offered something truly rare, a fusion of fantasy and steampunk, where magic and industrialization are locked in constant conflict. Set in a world fractured into kingdoms, mages eye iron machinery with suspicion, while a rising industry threatens the old ways. Its unique character system lets you choose from multiple races and fine-tune dozens of skills, from alchemy and blacksmithing to magic and engineering. The story unfolds through dialogue, stealth, lockpicking, and fierce combat, all depending on your approach. The battle system offers both real-time and turn-based modes with action points, a blend between Fallout and classic RPGs. Its world is filled with moral dilemmas, like requiring mages to show passports on trains, and social commentary on orc discrimination, slums, and the struggles of the working class. Yes, the graphics are dated, and the bugs are real, but the beauty of its world, narrative, and atmosphere still shine today. Diablo II, a classic action RPG where you don't bother with deep dialogue choices or complex tactics. It's all about the pure thrill of battle, hundreds of monsters, tons of loot, leveling up, and trading gear. Its 2D isometric visuals are a pixelated gem, nostalgic for some, timeless for others. And the balance of speed, rewards, and character growth, still addictive after decades. The game's tight loop keeps you hooked. Blast through 5 acts, face elite mobs and epic bosses, then do it all over again in Nightmare and Hell modes. Each of the 6 classes supports dozens of builds. The mechanics are simple, but the strategy is deep. Every run reveals something new. Neverwinter Nights. BioWare built the first Neverwinter Nights on the foundation of Dungeons & Dragons 3rd edition, complete with detailed character creation, dice rolls, hundreds of spells, and a rich variety of classes and subclasses. Its epic story is packed with fantasy classics, powerful artifacts, dragons, and villains to match, all while you build and lead a party of heroes, unlocking deeper dialogue, character motivation, and tactical choices. Obsidian took over for the sequel, not only keeping the core mechanics but leveling them up. They expanded the class system, added personal quests for companions, improved the narrative and dialogue, and gave players something extra, a castle of their own. You could upgrade it, hire guards, bring in NPCs, gain bonuses, and use your fortress as a base of power and profit. Nox, one of the most fast-paced, isometric action RPGs of its time. The story follows an ordinary guy who gets pulled into a magical world and thrown headfirst into chaos and combat. The game features 3 radically different classes. The warrior delivers powerful close-range blows, the wizard commands classic elemental spells, and the conjurer uses rapid-fire ranged magic and summons. Nox was also one of the first isometric games to introduce line of sight. Enemies stay hidden behind walls until they enter your field of vision. Towns and villages feel alive. You can peek into houses through windows, and NPCs bustle with activity. With its rich secrets and lack of the imbalances seen in modern games, Nox stands out as a shining gem of the genre. Dungeon Siege 2, considered by many critics to be the strongest entry in the trilogy. After the death of his friend, the main character switches sides and begins his fight against the dark sorcerer Valdis. The class system includes melee warriors, rangers, and mages, and with the Broken World expansion, hybrid classes and a new dwarf race were added. But the real strength of Dungeon Siege 2 lies in its companion system. You can recruit up to 6 NPC allies, each with unique personalities, dialogue, and personal quests. You can also raise pets. They grow with time and eventually grant passive auras to your team, like mana or health regeneration. While the combat is classic hack and slash, the depth of character development, gear progression, and party dynamics keeps the gameplay rich and engaging. Divinity, an isometric action RPG with co-op and fast-paced combat in the spirit of Diablo, but with a surprisingly strong RPG backbone. You start by picking one of 3 classes, but skills are open-ended, allowing you to blend playstyles and create hybrid builds as you level up. Sure, the Chosen One storyline might seem familiar, but the atmosphere, music, and offbeat quests more than make up for it. You'll meet memorable NPCs and encounter quests that break the mold. Not just kill 10 rats, but tasks that transform your character or help towns in clever, unexpected ways. With its deep progression system, rich role-playing options, and open-ended character growth, Divinity delivers a true classic RPG experience. Vran ARPG, a fast-paced action RPG built around agility and reactive movement. Unlike most isometric RPGs, here you can dodge, jump, and even wall jump, and you'll use those moves both in combat and while exploring the world. The hero isn't a blank slate. He's a demon hunter, armed with swords, scythes, and firearms. Each weapon type comes with unique skills and playstyles. Character progression is also non-traditional. Your build is shaped by the gear you equip, destiny cards for passive buffs, and demonic powers for active abilities, like summoning meteor showers or triggering earthquakes. Vran supports co-op for up to 4 players and offers plenty of replay value. Stylish and doesn't play like anything else in the genre. Sacred 2, a massive open-world action RPG with 6 starting classes, plus more added in the expansion. The world is packed with hundreds of gear types, a wide range of enemies, and diverse locations to explore. Progression systems include alchemy, mutations, and combat arts, a combo-based ability system that lets you customize how your character fights. The world is so large, you'll need to ride a warhorse to get around, and yes, your horse can die in battle. The game supports multiple playthroughs and encourages exploration. The Ice and Blood expansion adds 2 huge new areas, the Cursed Forest and Crystal region, around 30 hours of gameplay, a new class called the Dragon Mage, and loads of new loot, enemies, and epic bosses. The community especially values the game's mods and community patch, which restore and expand cut content. Renegade Ops, a high-octane top-down vehicular combat shooter from Avalanche Studios, running on the Just Cause 2 engine. The story follows the insane Tyrant Inferno, who levels a major city, and General Bryant, who assembles an elite team to save the world. You'll control cars and helicopters, each pilot with their own special abilities, from EMP blasts to airstrikes. There's local split-screen co-op for 2 players and online co-op for up to 4. Explosions, chaos, and arcade action. Renegade Ops is pure adrenaline. Hatred, a single-player isometric shooter by Polish studio Destructive Creations, built on Unreal Engine 4. You play as the antagonist, a man launching a personal crusade against humanity, wiping out civilians, police, and the military. According to the developers, Hatred was meant to reject political correctness, raw, grim, and deliberately provocative. Gameplay follows a twin-stick format. Kill a set number of targets to move on. There are 3 main weapon types, but combat quickly becomes repetitive. Still, the game sparked massive controversy and became a symbol of rebellion against modern industry norms. Love it or hate it, Hatred grabbed attention and became a bestseller overnight. Loki, Heroes of Mythology, an isometric action RPG set against the backdrop of ancient mythologies, Egyptian, Norse, Aztec, and Greek. You choose one of 4 heroes and align with pagan gods to stop the destructive rampage of Set, the malevolent Egyptian deity. Each hero fights within their own pantheon, gaining unique powers and buffs from offerings made to the gods. A standout feature is procedural level generation. Loot isn't tied to enemy level. Even a basic monster can drop a top-tier item, rewarding exploration and grinding. Multiplayer lets you play the campaign in co-op or battle one-on-one in PvP. Despite its age, Loki still draws attention from fans of the genre, thanks to its mythological setting, hardcore combat, and flexible character builds. The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing, a stylish, atmospheric action RPG that blends gothic fantasy with steampunk. You play as the descendant of the legendary monster hunter, venturing into a fictional land overrun by chaos, beasts, and mad scientists. The game features deep progression systems, multiple classes to choose from, hundreds of gear pieces, a rich talent tree, and a customizable skill system. Your ghostly companion, Lady Katarina, fights by your side and adds wit and charm to every conversation. Van Helsing is more than flashy combat. It offers crafting, traps, special abilities, and strong RPG depth. There's also full co-op campaign support and PvP modes. Visually and thematically, it stands out, something between Diablo and Bloodborne with a steampunk twist. Vikings, Wolves of Midgard, a fast-paced action RPG inspired by Norse mythology, with visuals that echo Diablo but a heavy northern flavor. You play as either a Viking warrior or shield maiden, fighting against beasts from Jotunheim and Helheim to protect your clan. Combat unfolds in linear but diverse locations, from snowy fjords to molten lava fields. There are 5 battle archetypes, each named after an Asgardian god. Boss fights are a big focus, and survival elements raise the stakes. In frozen zones, you'll freeze unless you find heat sources. You also sacrifice the blood of slain enemies to the gods to unlock abilities and upgrades. The progression system allows for reforging items, sharpening gear, and mixing abilities to build your ideal warrior. Co-op mode lets 2 players complete the campaign together. Chronicon, one of the most underrated indie action RPGs. Chronicon surprises with its depth, pace, and intricate mechanics. At first glance, it looks like a simple pixel art Diablo clone. But beneath the humble visuals lies a massive system of customization and progression. You enter the simulated memories of ancient heroes, battling through 4 unique worlds, from cursed dungeons to shattered temples. Each of the 4 classes features deep talent trees, specialization paths, and hundreds of passive and active abilities. Loot is plentiful, from basic gear to legendary and mythical items, with effects like elemental damage, minion summoning, or debuffs on hit. There are powerful armor sets that enhance specific playstyles and unlock new builds entirely. Chronicon is a love letter to the genre, fast-paced, customizable, and endlessly replayable. Drakensang, The Dark Eye, a classic party-based RPG set in the richly detailed fantasy world of Aventuria, built on the German tabletop system The Dark Eye. Think Fable meets Baldur's Gate, cozy yet intricate. You choose from 12 unique classes, influenced not only by profession but by race. Wood elves can speak to animals and plants, dwarves detect precious gems, and necromancers command skeleton armies. A major strength is its companion system. Your allies aren't just fighters but fully written characters with backstories, beliefs, and personal quests. Combat uses tactical pause-based mechanics, perfect for fans of the old-school CRPG formula. This is one of the finest European RPGs of its time, a faithful digital adaptation of tabletop roots, full of charm and attention to detail. Legend, Hand of God, an isometric action RPG in the tradition of Sacred and Diablo, set in a world under siege by demonic forces. You play a young warrior on a quest to find a powerful artifact and stop the darkness. But you're not alone. You're accompanied by Leah, a fairy who not only fights by your side but acts as your cursor. She comments on the action, hints at loot, and offers battle tips, adding personality to gameplay. The game features fast-paced combat, magic upgrades, gear progression, and a wide variety of environments. Despite a modest budget, Legend stands out with its atmosphere, world building, and a charmingly quirky idea. Ideal for fans of classic fantasy adventures looking for something familiar, yet refreshingly different. Silverfall, an action RPG where the central conflict isn't just about good and evil, it's nature versus technology. As the player, you choose your path. Align with nature and ancient elven magic, or embrace steam-powered machines, science, and firearms. Your choices shape the world. Cities change appearance, quests evolve, abilities differ, and even enemy spawns shift. A forest filled with spirits becomes a battlefield of mechs if you go the tech route. Gameplay follows the Diablo formula, loot-driven, real-time combat with AI companions. But there's a twist. When you die, you lose all your gear except gold. To recover it, you must return to the place you fell. Silverfall also features a cooperative multiplayer mode and remains a fascinating experiment in dynamic world-building tied to player philosophy. Inquisitor, a grim and brutally detailed RPG developed over more than a decade by a small Czech team. Set in a dark fantasy world inspired by medieval Europe, Inquisitor puts you in the role of a holy judge during a demonic apocalypse. Your job? Investigate heresy, witchcraft, and murder, gather evidence, interrogate witnesses, and if needed, torture them. You can burn innocents by mistake, and choices have weight. There are 3 playable classes, each with companions and quests that twist based on your moral compass. Combat is grueling, money is scarce, and every level up feels earned. This is less a typical RPG and more a medieval Inquisition simulator, offering deep lore, harsh decisions, and the kind of atmosphere that only true grimdark fans can appreciate. Seven, The Days Long Gone, a post-apocalyptic isometric RPG where stealth, parkour, and freedom define your playstyle. You play a master thief in a decayed sci-fi/fantasy world, leaping rooftops, hacking terminals, and infiltrating fortresses. There's no single way to complete missions. Climb through windows, bribe guards, or chain side quests to bypass obstacles. Instead of levels, you progress through gear and implantable chips that grant new skills. Combat is possible, even brutal, but violence can block off future storylines or restrict access to areas. You can ghost through the whole game or go in loud. If you're ready for the consequences, a rare blend of stealth, RPG mechanics, and world reactivity, 7 is an underappreciated gem for players who love choices with weight. Icewind Dale 2, a classic isometric RPG that trades deep political plots for constant tactical combat. Built on Dungeons & Dragons 3rd edition rules, you create a full 6-member party from scratch, choosing races, classes, spells, and feats with endless combinations. Set in the icy north of the Forgotten Realms, the game throws you into relentless battles against orcs, goblins, undead, and demons. Dialogue takes a backseat to strategy, positioning, spell rotations, and party synergy are essential. Every encounter feels like a Dungeons & Dragons combat scenario, testing your builds and tactics. Even today, Icewind Dale 2 remains one of the most combat-driven and rewarding classic RPGs, perfect for those who want less talking, more fireballs. Alien Swarm, a fast-paced, squad-based top-down shooter from Valve, originally an Unreal Tournament 2004 mod, later reborn on the Source engine and released for free. You and up to 3 friends control a team of Marines battling swarms of xenomorphs through dark, sci-fi corridors and open industrial zones. Each Marine falls into one of 4 specialized classes, and success depends entirely on tight teamwork. Protect the medic, guard the tech during hacks, deploy turrets, and manage ammo with precision. With tight level design, tactical elements, and a constant sense of pressure, Alien Swarm delivers short, explosive co-op sessions that still thrive years later thanks to mods and custom campaigns. Dead Nation, a grim top-down zombie shooter that blends arcade action with tense survival. Play solo or in co-op as you fight your way through ruined cities, industrial zones, and dark alleys crawling with the undead. Use the environment to your advantage. Car alarms, explosive barrels, and electric fences can turn the tide. Weapons and gear are upgradable, and enemy hordes get smarter and tougher the further you go. Whether you're mowing down zombies with a machine gun or outsmarting them with traps, Dead Nation offers gritty, atmospheric action perfect for a night of co-op chaos. Magicka, a chaotic co-op action RPG where the real magic is in experimentation. You play as robed wizards in a parody fantasy world, wielding 8 base elements that can be mixed in real time, into hundreds of spell combos. Combine water and ice to freeze foes, then shatter them with a meteor. Accidentally set your friend on fire while healing? Totally normal here. Magicka shines brightest in 2 to 4 player co-op, where friendly fire and volatile spellcasting create laugh-out-loud disasters and surprising victories. It's not about perfection. It's about creativity, improvisation, and magical mayhem. Isometric games aren't just about the camera angle, they're a perspective, a way of seeing design, strategy, and story from above, but feeling them deeply below. Whether you're casting unstable spells with friends, purging heresy in the name of faith, or just looting one more dungeon at 3 a.m., these games prove one thing. Sometimes all you really need is a little old-school isometry. The Image Game Channel was with you. Have a nice day.